This was my 9th proposal and she rejected me again. Impatiently, she said, "Chen Lang, aren't you tired of this? I've told you so many times I value freedom. I don't want to be tied down by marriage. If you keep pressuring me to marry, then we should break up." While I was lying in a hospital bed after a car accident, this woman who so cherished her so-called freedom, was out partying with her male best friend at a bar until dawn when I was discharged from the hospital. I initiated the breakup. Half a year later, she came looking for me. She said, "Stop being childish, come back with me. I'm agreeing to marry you, okay? But you have to promise even after marriage you won't restrict my right to freedom. I don't want to be stuck in the kitchen all day like a housewife. I have my own social circle." But before she could finish, I quietly said, "I'm getting married next month." Lying in that hospital bed, I felt a little dazed. I had loved her for 7 years, desperately wanting to be with her, to build a home, to start a family, but she never agreed. 3 hours ago, I had proposed to my girlfriend Tem Zuyu. It was my 9th proposal and she rejected me again. This time, she was clearly irritated. She said I'm like a footless bird, always longing for the sky. A bird like that only lands once in its lifetime and that's when it dies. I don't want marriage to be my shackle. I cherish my freedom. I just want to date, not marry. After she rejected me, I wandered the streets in a daze and was sideswiped by an out-of-control car. Thankfully, no bones were broken. The doctor said I could be discharged after 2 days of observation. It was already late when I tried calling Tang Yuyu several times, but she didn't answer then. I saw Zhao Tingyan's post on WeChat Moments. The photos and videos were crystal clear. Temps Yuyu celebrating Zhao Tingyan's birthday at a bar. They were holding hands, smiling sweetly at each other. The caption read, "Holding your hand, growing old together. My love for you is eternal." If this had happened in the past, I would have exploded with anger. I would have gone straight to confront Tang Yuyu, maybe even fought Zhao Tingyan. But at that moment, I only felt a deep sadness. I liked the post and even commented, "Wishing you happiness." Then I tossed my phone aside. My nose stung. I wanted to cry, but I ended up letting out a bitter laugh. 7 years. I had loved her for 7 years, and over time that love had only grown more humble. 9 proposals, each one rejected. On the surface, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but whenever she was with Zhao Tingyan, they looked more like the couple. Even my friends would say I seemed more like the third wheel, just an intruder in someone else's relationship now. I was tired. Someone once said that dating without the intention of marriage is just playing around. I was like a fish stubbornly holding onto the bait, refusing to let go, and maybe that's why Temps Yuyu believed I couldn't ever leave her. But didn't she understand? Love only works when both people put in the effort. Without that, it withers. Those who are favored always grow fearless. Just as I was thinking this, Tang Yuyu called. I hesitated, but picked up. Before I could even say a word, she snapped, "Chen Lang, what's your problem? Why are you posting nonsense on Xiaoyan's Moments? I was just celebrating his birthday at the bar, nothing more. Can you not be so narrow-minded?" She added coldly, "I'm not coming back tonight. I'll be home tomorrow morning. Make sure the raw fish congee is ready for me." And she hung up. I let out a sigh. Still lying in that hospital bed, my mind drifted back to our memories over the years. I met Tang Yuyu in college. That winter, her parents had just passed away. With no income to rely on, she had to juggle school with part-time jobs, doing whatever she could to get by. One night, I had just come out of an internet cafe near campus when I saw her being harassed by a drunk man. I didn't hesitate. I stepped in. The drunkard pointed at Tang Yuyu and shouted, "You damn brat. If you don't pay back the money, I'll come to your school every day and cause a scene." Tears welled in her eyes as she sobbed. "My parents just died and you're already coming after me for money. Do you even have a conscience?" The drunk man kept cursing in some dialect, acting like he had nothing to lose. "Anyway, I won't leave until I get my money. A debt's a debt even if we go to court. I'm still in the right." I quietly turned to her and asked what was going on. She explained, tearfully, that her parents had run a small business and had an unsettled payment with a partner. But they passed away suddenly, and the debt tens of thousands of yuan still unpaid. She'd already mortgaged and sold everything the family owned, and had planned to work and slowly repay the rest. But now the creditor was banging on her door. Seeing her like that, my heart softened. I said, "I'll pay off her family's debt. Take out the IOU, take the money, then leave." After I transferred the money, the drunkard gleefully threw the IOU at me and left, still cursing under his breath. Tem Yuyu was incredibly grateful. She swore she'd repay me. But I brushed it off and acted like some generous big spender. In reality, I spent a long time surviving on nothing but steamed buns and pickles. From that moment on, we worked part-time jobs together, and our bond deepened. By the second semester of freshman year, we were a couple. Like most young lovers, we were sweet and inseparable at first, but by junior year, cracks started to show, especially after Zhao Tingyan got into our university. Was Tem Ziyu's childhood neighbor, 2 years younger, and had been following her around since they were kids. She told me she always saw him as a younger brother. At first I believed her, but over time something felt off. The first time he saw me, his eyes flashed with hostility. I brushed it off. Maybe it was normal after all. A little brother would be wary of his sister's boyfriend, right? But Zhao Tingyan got more and more out of line. He acted way too familiar with Tang Yu right in front of me. He kept crashing our dates, making excuses, and worst of all, Tang Yu didn't think it was a problem. I brought it up several times. She got annoyed. We ended up arguing often because of him. Even my friends warned me, if this continues, your relationship will fall apart. After graduation, Temps Yu and I moved to another city for work. Without Zhao Tingyan around, our relationship stabilized, but she still refused all my marriage proposals. Then last year, out of nowhere, Zhao Tingyan graduated and moved to the same city. After that, everything changed again. Temps Yu went right back to being glued to him, like she forgot I was even her boyfriend. I was exhausted, constantly trying to hold on. That night in the hospital, I barely slept. All I could do was replay the past in my head. At dawn, my phone rang again. It was Temps Yu. She said angrily, "Chen Lang, where are you? Why aren't you home? Didn't I tell you to make rice porridge with snakehead fish last night?" I replied calmly, "I got hit by a car. I'm in the hospital." Soon enough, Tang Yu showed up with Zhao Tingyan. When they saw that I only had some scrapes and bruises, Tang Yu let out a sigh of relief. Then she frowned and scolded me. "I thought you were seriously hurt. It's just a scratch, no big deal. You're an adult. How can you be so careless?" Then she added, "Can you be discharged today? Handle it yourself. Zhao Tingyan has an interview and I need to accompany him." Her boyfriend had been in a car accident and she didn't even blink. All she cared about was Zhao Tingyan's interview. In the past I would have been furious, but now all I felt was regret. Just regret for wasting 7 years of youth. With his back to Temps Yu, Zhao Tingyan shot me a mocking glance and said insincerely, "Chen Lang, I heard you proposed to Sister Yu again yesterday. Did you get hit by a car because she rejected you?" He added smugly. "Sister Yu and I are both non-marriage advocates. You should understand her." I ignored him. Over the years, he had deliberately sabotaged my relationship with Tang Yu because of him. We argued more and more. Sometimes Tang Yu would even say I didn't understand her the way Zhao Tingyan did, that I wasn't as caring. She'd say things like, "Zhao Tingyan never lectures me with long speeches. He just pampers me." And suddenly, all my hard work in this relationship, years of dedication and effort, seemed worthless next to Zhao Tingyan's sweet little words. Back then, I was so foolish. Seeing that I didn't react, Zhao Tingyan wasn't ready to give up. He wanted to provoke me, to make me lose my composure in front of Tang Yu, to make her even more disappointed in me. Narrowing his eyes, he looked at me and deliberately said in a falsely innocent tone, "Chen Lang, I was just celebrating my birthday at the bar last night. A bunch of friends were there, so I posted about it on my Moments, just to show off a little. I only asked Sister Yu to pretend to be my girlfriend. I didn't mean anything by it. I really didn't expect you to comment like that under the post." I showed it to Sister Yu right away and wanted to explain things, but she got angry. "How could you not trust Sister Yu like that?" Looking at his two-faced hypocritical expression, I kept calm and replied, shouting, "Has anyone ever told you are disgusting? If you like someone, go for them openly. Why do you always resort to these sneaky little games behind people's backs? Are you even a man? No wonder you were stripped naked and thrown into the lake back in college." Back in college, Zhao Ting had gotten close to a girl acting all sweet and attentive, but the girl's boyfriend eventually found out and publicly slapped him several times. He stripped him of his clothes and kicked him straight into the campus lake in the middle of winter. That incident had always been Zhao Ting's greatest humiliation. The moment I brought it up, his face turned terribly ugly. But with his back to Tang Yu, he quickly put on a hurt expression and said, "Chen Lang, I really didn't mean anything by it. Wasn't what you just said a bit too harsh?" Temps Yu turned and glared at me. "Chen Lang, did the car hit your brain or something? So what if I rejected your proposal yesterday? Even if you got hit by a car, what does any of that have to do with shouting? If you're mad, don't take it out on him." I looked at the disappointed expression on her face and said softly, "Since the moment you walked into this ward, you haven't once asked about my car accident. All you've done is scold and accuse me like it's become a habit. Tell me Yu, whose girlfriend are you, exactly? I've been thinking about this all night, and I really believe there's something wrong with our relationship. I don't want to keep going like this. Let's break up." As soon as the words left my mouth, Temps Yu froze, and Zhao Ting's eyes immediately lit up with excitement. Yu's expression grew even more furious. "What did you just say? Say it again if you dare." I took a deep breath, met her eyes, and said quietly, "I don't think I love you the way I used to. I'm really tired. You love freedom, fine, I'll give it to you." Over the years, thanks to Zhao Ting's interference, every time Yu and I had an argument or a cold war, she would bring up breaking up, and every single time, I was the one who compromised and apologized. In her mind, breaking up was always her trump card, her choice, so when I finally said it first, she was both shocked and furious, and a little flustered. We'd been together for years and she could see I was serious. That flustered look on her face only deepened. "Chen Lang, Don't joke around at a time like this, she said, a bit hurriedly. I know I've been neglecting you lately. I know rejecting your proposal yesterday hurt you. I'll make it up to you, okay? You've always wanted to travel, haven't you? Once Xiaoting's interview is done and he settles into his new job, we'll go on a nice trip, just to relax. She was trying to backpedal, to compromise in a roundabout way. There was a flicker of panic and pleading in her eyes. I was just about to respond when Xiaoting cut in with fake concern. Chen Lang, how can you say such heartless things? Yu Yu's done so much for you over the years. Do you really think threatening her with a breakup is the way to get her to listen to you? His words hit a nerve. Yu Yu's face changed slightly. Her gaze toward me suddenly strange suspicious. Maybe she really thought, like her, I was just using the threat of breaking up to make her give in, but I didn't want to explain anymore. Let her think what she wanted, even though I felt a pang of regret after saying it. I also felt free, like a heavy shackle had finally been broken. Yu Yu opened her mouth to say something, but Xiaoting spoke up again. Yu Yu, my interview's about to start. Hearing that, she looked conflicted for a moment, then turned to me and said, I'll go with Xiaoting to his interview first. After that I'll come back and help with your discharge paperwork. When we get home we'll talk properly. And stop being childish, okay? I'll pretend you didn't say any of that just now. She gave me a quick kiss on the cheek before hurrying off with Xiaoting that moment. That was when my heart completely died for her. That afternoon, I handled the discharge procedures myself. Back at the apartment Yu Yu and I had shared, I started packing all my personal belongings. Since I'd already made up my mind, there was no point dragging things out. Better a clean break than a messy delay that only brings more pain. I'll admit I was reluctant to let go of this relationship, but I was even more unwilling to keep drowning in something that clearly had no future. Night fell. Thames Yu Yu returned with Xia, both of them reeking of alcohol, clearly drunk and giddy from drinking together. As soon as they walked in and saw my packed suitcase, their smiles disappeared. I looked at them calmly, pulling my suitcase behind me. Sorry, I said quietly. I was planning to leave sooner, but the bathroom faucet broke, had to fix that first. Anyway, all my things are packed now. I've also resigned from my job. Let's skip the farewell dinner. This is it. Yu Yu quickly stepped forward and grabbed my suitcase, panic in her voice. Chen Lang, are you really breaking up with me tonight? I just helped Xiaoting with his interview and celebrated his new job. I forgot to go to the hospital for your discharge. You're angry about that, right? I'm sorry, okay? Don't scare me like this. Before I could even answer, jumped in with sarcasm. Chen Lang, don't be so petty, alright? She even said today she'd take you on a trip in a few days. I know you don't like me, and I'll make sure to keep my distance from now on. Just don't use breaking up too. Pressure, she's already strong-willed, and now she's even apologizing to you. Just take the chance and let it go. He pretended to advise me, but he was clearly stirring things up. Yu Yu, clearly tipsy, raised her eyebrows after hearing him. She let go of the suitcase and looked at me angrily. I already admitted I was wrong. You should know when to stop. In her eyes, my behavior was exactly what Xiaoting described: manipulative, petty, childish. I didn't bother to explain. What was the point? I took one long deep look at Thames Yu Yu, the woman I had loved deeply for 7 years. Maybe she truly loved me once. Or maybe she'd only stayed because I helped her through tough times and paid off her debts, but now I didn't even know if I had a place in her heart anymore. Not that it mattered. Before leaving, I said softly, Xiaoting is not someone you can trust with your future. I once loved you deeply. I don't want to see you get hurt, but it seems I no longer have the right to care. You once told me you were a footless bird, yearning for freedom, not wanting to be bound, so I'm setting you free. And in doing so, I'm freeing myself. From now on, I'll no longer be a part of your life. Take care, and farewell. Before she could say anything, Xiaoting glared at me, hatred flashing in his eyes. There are plenty of great men in this world. Chen Lang, do you really think you're the only decent one? Sister Yu Yu is amazing. Countless guys are after her. If you break up with her, it's your loss. I've liked Sister Yu Yu since we were young. If you don't want her, I'll make her happy. Just wait till regret this. His goading only made Yu Yu's intoxication worse. She suddenly exploded, shouting, Chen Lang, if you dare walk out that door, I'll have Xiaoting move in immediately. He's right, there are so many good men out there. If you leave me, I can find a new boyfriend right away. I'm giving you one last chance. What you said just now was way out of line. Apologize to Xiaoting right now, and I'll pretend tonight never happened. Even now, she still wanted me to apologize to him. That said everything, just how much she cared for him, and I realized, maybe she'd always loved him more than she ever loved me. All these years I'd just been too blind to see it. Or maybe I saw it but refused to admit it. Not anymore. I dragged my suitcase toward the door, and without turning back, I said quietly, Thames Yu Yu, I don't love you like I used to. Or maybe, I just don't have that obsession anymore. For the rest of our lives, I hope we never meet again. After a breakup, you can't be friends, you've hurt each other. And you can't be strangers either, because once, you truly loved each other. So the best thing is to never see each other again. That's the only way to respect what you once had. After I left the apartment, I got on a flight, and just like that I started my new life. She once said to me, "I'm serious." Back then, the way you cared for and loved Thames, you made me envious. I wanted to know what it felt like to be someone's favorite too. After that night, Song Shanshan and I traveled to many places together. As time went on, our feelings for each other slowly deepened. 3 months later, I moved into her home in this quiet seaside town, and we opened a small shop together. Life was simple and peaceful. When I was with her, she was always thoughtful and considerate of my feelings, and I made sure to treat her with the same care. Love, after all, is about complementing each other. It's not just about admiring someone's strengths, but also about accepting their flaws. Shanshan and I both did well in that regard. With her, I truly felt like I'd found a home for my heart. I wanted to propose to her. I had proposed to tempt you 9 times before, all of which ended in rejection. So by now, I had a bit of a psychological shadow when it came to proposing. After being with Song Shanshan, I had the urge to propose more than once, but the words always got stuck in my throat. When we had been together for half a year, I finally gathered the courage to propose and planned to take her home to meet my parents. But before I could even say a word, she looked at me with those bright eyes of hers, like she could see right through me. That evening, with the setting sun casting its golden glow on her face, she smiled at me and said, "Chen Lang, I want to get married." I was stunned for a moment, then smiled and asked, "Beautiful Miss Song Shanshan, will you marry me?" She beamed and nodded, "Yes." A few months ago, while traveling, I had already told my parents about Shanshan. We're very fond of her. In their eyes, she was the one who had pulled me out of the abyss of heartbreak. When we got home, my parents liked her even more after meeting the gentle and generous Shanshan in person. They immediately started calling relatives and friends to arrange our wedding. But the very next day after we arrived in my hometown, Tang Yuyu showed up at my door. I was curious, how did she even know I was back? I had deleted her contact info, and even my parents had blacklisted her, Shanshan said. I posted about us on my WeChat Moments. She probably saw it and rushed over. I looked at Shanshan speechlessly and complained, "You really know how to stir up trouble, or you trying to get us back together or something?" Shanshan gave me a light punch and said crossly, "I just want you to make a clean break from that relationship before we get married." I pouted and muttered, "Women are so petty, I think you just like to watch the drama." Before Shanshan could respond, my mom glared at me and said, "Go and talk to her properly, and don't you dare mess around with other women again. If you end up like your father, I'll break your legs." My dad chuckled dryly, constantly winking at me. It's been half a year, hasn't it? The incident where my dad, trying to comfort me, had revealed some of his past affairs, still hadn't blown over. My mom hadn't forgotten and still gave him grief every now and then, sometimes even a good beating. My dad really did sacrifice a lot for me. I walked to the door and saw Thames Yuyu standing there. She looked much more haggard than the last time I saw her when she saw me. She barely managed to say, "Chen Lang, I know I was wrong. Stop this. Okay, I know you're with Song Shanshan just to make me jealous. Don't worry, won't be mad about it. As long as you come back to me, I'll pretend nothing ever happened between you and her, okay? I can marry you, but I don't want to be tied to the kitchen after marriage. I have my own social circle. Let's give each other some space, but I promise you I'll definitely be a good wife." Before she could finish, I cut in gently, "I'm getting married. My wife is Song Shanshan Tang Yuyu. I've already told you everything I needed to say. There's no possibility between us anymore." Tang Yu's face turned pale. She stared at me blankly, her eyes quickly filling with tears. Her voice trembled as she said, "Why? Song Shanshan isn't prettier than me, her figure isn't as good as mine. What do you see in her?" I pointed to my heart and said calmly, "A spiritual connection. Our thoughts echo in the mind. I cherish her, and she cares about me. That's enough." Thames Yuyu cried out, "I can do that too. Chen Lang, we have 7 years of history. I feel the same way about you. You can't do this to me." I looked at her deeply and sighed softly. "Thames Yuyu, stop deceiving yourself. You know very well how I treated you all these years, and you also know how you treated me in your heart. I was never as good as that Zhao Ting An, even outsiders could see it. How could you not know?" Her face went even paler. She stepped forward and grabbed my hand, pleading, "Chen Lang, I was wrong before. Forgive me, okay? Just this once. After we get married, I'll listen to you, okay?" I gently pulled my hand away and shook my head. "It's impossible between us. Song Shanshan and I are getting married soon. If you want to come and congratulate us, you're welcome, but don't bring shouting Yun. I still find that guy disgusting." Hearing this, Tang Yuyu gave a bitter smile. She looked behind me just as Song Shanshan stepped forward. Right in front of Tang Yuyu, Shanshan held my hand tightly, as if making a declaration of ownership. Tang Yuyu looked at her with jealousy in her eyes and cried out, "Why did you steal him from me? Give him back." Song Shanshan looked at her pityingly and said, "Back in college I warned you not to get too close to that Zhao Ting An, but you didn't listen. You kept neglecting Chen Lang. I felt bad for him. You didn't love him. Someone else did, Temps. You, please don't bother my man anymore. I hope you can find your own happiness in the future. Her words completely shattered Temps Yu. She broke down in tears and turned around, leaving in a daze. I did feel a little regret, but only just that, nothing more. Shan Shan watched Tang Yu's departing figure and said softly, Zhao Ting'an had a car accident and is now paralyzed from the waist down. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come to you. I was stunned. What happened? I asked. Shan Shan explained. After you two broke up, Zhao Ting'an kept pursuing her, and Temps Yu started to waver. Just when she was about to accept him, he got into a car accident and became paralyzed. How could Temps Yu entrust her future to someone like that? Shan Shan had posted on her WeChat moments that she was marrying me. She specifically did it to let Temps Yu see. That's why Temps Yu came, hoping to get back together. I looked at Shan Shan with a strange expression. Wife, where did you learn this kind of ruthless tactic from? You won't use it on me someday, will you? Shan Shan snorted and smiled. Depends on your future behavior. I wrapped my arm around her waist and looked toward Tang Yu. Lonely figure disappearing in the distance. In my heart, I sighed. Tang Yu, I don't love you anymore. I hope you find a good partner and that neither of us ever has any regrets again.